Hi, everybody. Angel here. Hope you're doing great. Happy Monday. And today I'm super excited to speak with Emma about the Wim Hof method. So we will get started pretty soon. Thanks for joining, both live and on the replay. If you've missed any of my previous conversations on Instagram live, you can check them out on IGTV. The little icon there on my page. So we will get started very soon. If you want to put in the comments where you're tuning in from around the world, that would be awesome to know as well. So we have a little delay today. Oh, wow. Awesome. Barbados. Awesome. Hopefully I'll get there soon one day after the world returns to normal. Awesome. Thanks for joining. So while we wait, I'll just mention that if you check the link in my bio, I have lots of links in there for vegan recipes, for vegan seafood recipes, different free resources there for you as well. So you can check those out whenever you get a chance. And I think we're gonna get started right now. Hi there.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me on
Awesome.
here. Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks for taking the time. I know everyone's busy and I've followed your page and I've seen that you
Oh,
are, traveling and doing all kinds of exciting stuff. So, thank you for taking the time out. I want to say thanks to everybody who's joining, either live or
yes.
on the replay. And please put your questions or comments down below for Emma, and she'll be happy to answer as we go along. And
Cool.
meanwhile, Emma,
Yes.
I think we should just jump right in there because we have a lot of topics to cover.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
awesome. So I just pinned a summary of our topics below just to kind of keep me on track here. So
Cool.
so once again, thank you so much, Emma, for taking the time. We already have some hearts here for you that are coming up on the screen.
Um,
So,
That's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. So let's jump right in there with our conversation here, Emma. So please share with us, how did you start your interest in breathing exercises? How did that all come about for you?
Well, first of all, I'm really liking the glitter around you. I think it's
Yeah, it's one
really,
of my
I'm loving the
little,
I'm loving the sparkles. I'm all for sparkles. Wish I could do that. So anyway, back to
yeah.
breathing. How did I come about it? Honestly, by accident. or was it? Da, 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 the serendipity. It was,
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, I had not very romantic. I had a burnout in life. There was like three major sort of strikes or hits in my life that made me massively question everything. You know, my foundations. You know, the big questions: who am I? What am I doing here? Who are my friends? Why are they my friends? You know, just everything like that. So, and then on my journey of kind of rebelling against my conditioning, or programming, if you like, but I didn't know I was just questioning everything. I came across Wim Hof on a podcast. So it was a Rich Roll
Wow.
podcast back in
Oh, wow.
2016. So I heard about Wim's, well, actually, his story wasn't really romantic. When I heard about it, was his story with the death of his wife. His wife committed suicide, and I had heard of the Iceman before, and I hadn't really, bless Wim, I hadn't really cared for his like many record breakings and, you know, sitting in ice. I was like, why would you do that? That's you know. When you can just stay comfortable and stuff like that. So I was very much in that headset a few years earlier. But it was his story that resonated with me, not the fact that I've lost a wife through suicide or anything like that, but it was the fact that he went into nature trying to look for his answers. And I too at the time was doing that. And he showed, well, I felt like he showed, when you listen to a podcast, you feel like they're in the room with you and you're just listening into a conversation. So I was doing the push-up exercises when he was explaining it to Rich Roll, and I was blown away by the results of how I felt. And that kind of sort of led me to sort of self-inquire a little bit more along the Wim Hof method route. Anyway, fast forward 6 months, I went to Poland as a participant in Wim's sort of winter travel. I probably would say, and I openly say, I'm literally the world's worst participant that year because I hated the cold,
No.
didn't understand about breathing. But I learned a lot, such a lot, that I discovered the power of breath. So that's how I came into the breath work, I suppose. It was initially yeah, I suppose like the breath got me before the cold, if you like, or got me hooked before the cold. But I had such profound effects from doing dynamic breath work. And then from there, I learned that I was a paradoxical breather. Now, paradoxical breather is completely the wrong way to how you're supposed to be breathing. So when you take a big breath in, what do you do? And most people get a bit taller and they sort of suck their stomach in, if you like. So, and I was doing that unknowingly, and it's actually the completely opposite way around to how you're supposed to be breathing. So I became 100% fascinated in breath and breath work and the mechanics and what it can do for you. And that, I guess, is where my journey began. Yeah. So
That's awesome. I mean, I'm sad to hear, first of all, that you came to this through some, ups and downs, so to speak, some
yeah,
challenges.
yeah,
Sometimes people say, things happen for a reason, or, whatever people
for
say,
sure.
right?
Yeah,
I like to look at it as, well, I'm just going to make the best of it. This and this happened, and I'm just going to
yeah,
make the best of it.
yeah.
And then of course I'm, very, very, sad to hear about Wim Hof's situation with his wife. And I'm a podcast junkie, and so I listen to a lot of podcasts as well. But
Yeah.
the reason I wanted to speak with you is because I discovered the whole Wim Hof breathing technique, so to speak, through a few people on Clubhouse, and several
Ah,
people on different days mentioned Wim Hof as a solution to some of the challenges that some of the people were going through, some of the speakers. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have to find out more about this. So I started to,
excellent.
you know, I went on YouTube and I found his videos. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to start this. I have to start this. So I've been doing like the 10-minute exercise led by his voice,
Brilliant.
for like over a month now. And I can definitely feel a difference, but I don't have access to the cold water, which is what we're going to talk about later.
Okay.
So that's why when I messaged you, I was like, well, I'm doing the breathing, but I haven't really gotten into the cold yet. But so yeah, I got to figure that all out, because where I live, they don't allow the water to go cold because it's a cold climate in the winter, and they're afraid of like pipes freezing, I guess, or something. I don't really know, or maybe it's liability. I have no idea, but the cold water where I'm living, it can't go, beyond like warm. So
Okay. Oh, that's a shame.
yeah.
But
So
you'd
I
be
just love
surprised.
seeing your.
The body doesn't need intense cold all the time, so it doesn't have to be the ice bath like is portrayed on the Wim Hof sort of image, if you like. It can be, cold for core temperature it can be 18 degrees and below, or say 16 degrees centigrade and below, and that's enough for the body for a cold exposure. So don't worry, it's not the intense ice bath. Your body will still benefit from even 16 degrees centigrade and below safely. So
That's good to know. That's
yeah,
good to
exactly.
know.
Exactly.
That's a tip already. That's a tip already. I want to just pause and say hi to everybody who's joining. Thank you so much. And please put your questions and comments down below for Emma, and she'll be happy to answer. And so yeah, so that takes us then to your Wim Hof journey. So you went to Poland, and that's a super popular event I've seen
Yeah.
since I've started to follow him. Because I also had heard vaguely about the Iceman, but I really didn't pay attention. Like, I
Yes.
didn't really know what this was all about, And I guess because I'm not like an extreme sport person, and so for me, that's kind of like far out. That's like, well, I could
Yeah.
never do anything like that. So, I'm never gonna like dig into it. So yeah, I mean, you went
And
to
neither was
Poland.
I, actually. I'm still not an extreme sports person at all. And in fact, I live in a national park here in the UK, and I remember my old boss saying to me, "Why would you trade one national park to another national park? And it's a hell of a lot colder." Do you know what I mean? Like it made no sense for me to want to go there, if you know what I mean. But I just had this kind of knowledge or innate knowing to, I've got to be there. I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense. Back then, they didn't really give you that much information. There wasn't as much footage out.
Yeah.
They didn't give us any, or maybe they did and I just didn't read it, the email or anything like that. So they're like, "What are you going to do?" And I'm like, "I don't know." "Why are you going?" "I don't know." So it was very much sort of like, "You're crazy." "I kind of know that much," you know. It was a bit like that. I think I was confused for a whole year, and
Yeah.
ended up in Poland, and
And there you
kind
were.
yes,
Yeah.
my profound, my moment of like, here I am, was on the mountain half naked, on shorts and a bra, and that was it. And it was just like, oh, now I get it. Still don't
Yeah.
know what, but I get that that it's a good to be here and to change everything that I knew 180. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm very curious about that too, quite frankly. So tell us, please. So we got to how you started your Wim Hof method journey. So
Mm.
please tell us more about the Wim Hof method. What does it consist of for people who are like totally brand new to this?
Yeah, sure. So Wim Hof is a Dutch guy, and he developed this method called the Wim Hof method. It's comprised of three pillars. So one is breath work, which we briefly sort of explained. So the breath work will help with your immune system, helps with just kind of putting hormetic stress on the body, if you like, between aerobic and anaerobic acidity, so pH and stuff like that. It's just a fantastic breath work which has a lot going on in one cycle. And then there's the cold. So again, it doesn't have to be the ice bath that it's known, but part of the method, one pillar is the cold. And that also complements the breath work that you do, because you have less sort of pain in the body. So you're perfectly primed to go into the cold water and you're calm. So the cold is also hormetic stress on the body, and it's like it kind of increases your stress tolerance to life. If you like, and it also has so many benefits like mindfulness, exercise by going there, being present. It kind of increases your immunity, because it helps with the white blood cell count and stuff like that. So that's cool, combined even better. And then the third pillar is commitment. So commitment is, I like to define it as whatever you want it to be. So the commitment is even to commit to going into the cold, or commit to do that third round of breathing, or commit to doing one of Wim's challenges on there, like a 30-day shower, or whatever like that, or commitment to show up for yourself. For me, the combined gives me so much sort of core self-esteem, because the whole thing of putting you out of your comfort zone and then doing it the commitment could be, you know, the combination of both, and having that positive feeling. So strange enough, like self-care, everyone says self-care, and it's not, for me, it's not drinking champagne in a spa or doing my nails. Self-care is actually going into, you know, breath work and ice, because what it does for the body is and the mind is so powerful. So yeah.
Yeah, and I love the short videos that you have on your page, and one of them is about self-care. So if anyone hasn't seen that video,
Oh,
please go watch that video. I think you'll be happy you did, along with all the others. When I was watching, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I want to be under that waterfall. I want to be
and you
swimming."
get a power shower. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be like a mermaid in there, you know? Like, it's just so beautiful. And, you know, like the tourist offices of these places should like be compensating you
Oh, well, I used to
for
work
all
for
of the
tourists.
oh,
Yeah.
see, I didn't even
Yeah.
know that.
So
But like you were like
yeah.
showcasing all these beautiful places. I'm like, they need to compensate her for
Totally,
this.
I didn't think of that. Yeah, they're just I brought Little Cumbria, or the Lake District worldwide with my Wim
Yeah.
Hofing. No,
Yeah, no. It's beautiful. Yeah.
yeah.
Please put
No,
your
I'm
questions
so
and comments down below for Emma as we go along. That would be cool, just to see if you have any thoughts out
yeah.
there that
I
she can help you with.
absolutely. I pretty much share a lot on social media, so don't be afraid to ask me any questions. You know what I mean? My personal life is already out there, so so if I can help with someone, you know, who's in doubt or anything like that, just to just go for it, or you know, just explore a little bit more. I think in life and the way that the world is evolving, it's kind of a lot of information very quickly and a lot of misinformation out there. So just ground yourself and center yourself, and really, you know, in this crazy spinning world, that just center. And you know, breath work is one of them. Cold is another. So it's kind of, it's very topical at the moment. So I'm just,
Totally.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just
no,
sure.
totally. And now you touch on a lot of the benefits of the Wim Hof method. Is there anything that you wanted to expand on? And we can even connect this to our next topic, which is your teaching, your courses, etc., that you conduct all over. So I don't know, maybe we could combine it with some of the benefits that your students are, experiencing, that you yourself are experiencing.
Mm. Yeah, so I mean, for me, the benefits, well, it's just been profound for me. It was like Wim Hof method is my lifestyle now. Like I practice it every day, but it's not like I'm doing the ice baths every day. I go for a walk in nature. It's about connecting to nature. I'm very lucky that I have nature on my doorstep. But but for me, I was able to run a marathon without any training, and an ultra marathon without any training, any running training, so conventional training, just from the power of breath work and the cold. I added Kundalini yoga and Buteyko, which is now kind of evolved into the oxygen advantage. So I did that, and my training was to ask myself, how would I like to train today? You know, so it was very, very unconventional. It was very kind of, I wouldn't say mindfulness, but it was very sort of tuned into how is my body and how is my head. So I wasn't pushing myself. I wasn't going by ego. And I say ego, and you look at your Garmin watch and go, wow, I didn't run 10 miles today, so tomorrow I'm going to do 20. And then next week, you know, I didn't beat myself up at all. It was just listening to my body, how I'm just working with. So I didn't feel guilty for waking up just doing 7 minutes breath work and a 2 minute in the lake, you know, and that was my training. Or
Amazing.
yeah, so it was. I kind of wanted to avoid all the you know, all the digital, which are great and they have their place, but just the way that I felt like I wanted to train was just to get more into the body, and you know, rest is just as important. So Wim Hof method is amazing for improving sports performance, or just, you know, that little extra margin. But just, you know, yeah, so that's one. And for me also, it really helped me with my, which I didn't really know, because I'm adopted, and I know I'm adopted, and I thought my rational brain really sort of was good with that, but then my body was so angry, if you like, and for not being seen, or not, you know, having my identity sort of taken away. And again, all things that I thought I handled really, really well. But until I did that breath work, and until it kind of like just was a detox at a really deep cellular level of the sort of like the early life trauma that I experienced. And again, it was something that I didn't know that I had, but it was something for me to accept and recognize and trying to make peace with. So the Wim Hof for that is very good for cellular release, or, you know, the stored hormones that are there. And I don't like calling it trauma release, but it's a language, it's a word that everyone can relate to.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was good because, and again, it's just personal, so everyone's different, but talk therapy didn't really work for me when I was talking, because the irrational mind came in and goes, yeah, I know I'm a doctor, I know I've got these problems, but I'm good. Yeah. And literally the breath work was, ooh, it was just like another level of release. So, you know, I cried, I laughed, you know, and just thinking that, and when I was in the water, it was very like, it was like a closure. You know, I was very humbled by and very grateful to be here, if you like. I saw, instead of saw it as a negative of who am I, and, you know, who do I look like, I became very grateful that I have got the opportunity to be here and share my journey. So I was able to speak about what happened without being tearful or upset or anything like that. So something shifted in my body, to a knowing that all is well, and just to kind of accept that, and just think there's a bigger picture and a bigger plan, because I kind of broadened my perspective on life, and it was that sense of belonging that I had in nature, which I probably didn't feel anywhere else. So yeah, so that to me is really powerful about what the Wim Hof method can do. I mean, and there's other things that can help with. People have given many testimonials of how it's helped with their healing physically, you know, so it helps with the burn, you know, just to heal the skin. It's very, very powerful. That even Raynaud's, you know, which is bad circulation in the hands, and it just, there's two types of Raynaud's, so the other one, if you like, so it can increase circulation. I'm just trying to think what else. Autoimmune diseases, it can help with that as well. So there's so many other benefits to why people do it and continue to do it. And I guess the people that come to my workshop, if you listen to Wim Hof talk or anything, he's very much like that in real life. But don't put him in a box. You can't put him in a box. Wim's just so loud and charismatic and stuff like that. So I always say, don't put the Wim Hof method in a box either, because don't make it a routine, because Wim's not boring, and Wim's not,
Not
you
at
know,
all.
he's pushing his boundaries and everything like that. So you should do too. So mix it up. So the Wim Hof method to stay in your life, you know, that commitment side, is just to mix it up, mix up the breath work, mix up the timings, mix up the music, mix up the day you do the cold, you know, just things like that. And for that, the method could work even more for you, because you're it's like also getting out of your conditioned mind all the time. So just so that's, and I think by challenging yourself or challenging the comfort zone is also very, very important in today's society, because nothing's really certain. I think we kind of realize that more than ever in the last 18 months. But it's just really, it will just strengthen you in other ways that you don't know. So just keep going is you know what I say. And if it really doesn't work for you, then just try something else that would, you know, anything else with those grounding tools. So it might be this first step for you to go on to something else. So yeah, so the Wim Hof is great for sports, just great for, as I say, the true self-esteem, which I had with the adoption process. It's good for your health, good for physical and mental health as well. So, you know, so those both things. And, you know, and I say this now with a spot on my face, but it's good for skin, you know, and skin and hair and stuff like that. It's radiant, you feel good, circulation. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it
And
does have
I
a
would
lot
add,
of benefits. Yeah, go on. What was
yeah, and sorry, I would add stress management and sleep.
Sleep. Yeah, that's true. I don't have
Yeah,
problems sleeping. In fact, I love sleeping and I love waking up in the morning, you know.
totally. And
Yeah,
I love how you were suggesting that we each individually make it our own.
for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
that
That's the
is
first thing I
that
did.
is beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. And that's how I teach. So, you know, when you said how, because that you can be a hoffer and do it once a year, or you can be a hoffer and do it every day. You know, it doesn't, don't feel guilty because I haven't done it for a while or anything like that. You can probably feel, you know, why am I feeling agitated or stressed? And or how long have I not done the Wim Hof? Oh, okay, maybe I do it. So yeah, so the Wim Hof will work for you no matter what. Yeah, for sure. And everyone's individual. We all have the same, you know, style of bodies, you know, male, female, but it's everyone's individual journey. And it's a coming together without judgment. And that goes for your everyday process as well. So, and that's what I love about the Wim Hof method. Some people describe it as a gym workout. So how often do you go to the gym? You know, once a day, once a week, once a month. Like for me, never, but you know, I'm just sharing it as an example.
Me neither.
Yeah. But it's
No.
what you do every day that
Yeah,
matters,
yeah,
if you know what I mean. So
yeah.
just see the Wim Hof as like a gym workout, but it's how you do your everyday breathing that can really enhance your gym workout kind of thing, or your Wim Hof method. So and
Yeah.
and I just feel that all comes naturally from committing to the method. So yeah.
Wow. Well, we have to catch up with some comments and questions
Oh
here,
yeah,
but I want to
I haven't
say
seen any. I'm
also,
just merrily
yeah.
talking away. I'm
No, no,
glad
no,
you're
no,
looking
no. It's
after that.
fine. Fine, fine. No, it's good, good. I'm going to catch up with these comments. I just wanted to back up what you were saying earlier about the Renard situation. In one of Wim Hof's podcasts, because he has a podcast now, in case anyone isn't aware, and one of his guests shared that his mother cured her condition through the cold baths.
Yeah.
Another another guest shared that she has been able to dramatically resolve some childhood trauma
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
that she suffered. And it wasn't up until basically she started the Wim Hof method that, you know, she was able to release a lot of that, I guess, what I would call trapped energy or trapped trauma, or I don't really know how else to describe it, but it's very powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a simple but powerful. Absolutely. And the good thing is with the Wim Hof method, for me, I don't know if you can see it, like female and male energy, you know, although you might come there because it's, you know, male, yeah, I want to be the Wim Hof and bravado and stuff like that. But actually you leave really well balanced, because in order to stay in the water, you need to accept, not just surrender and embrace and sort of be part of. So it's very feminine energy. And then with the breath work as well, you can't bring your ego in that sense, because the more relaxed you are, the more oxygen will go around the body, and you have more kind of profoundness. So by all means make an intention, but then forget about it. But also with the shift to the Reynards and stuff like that, you can set an intention and breathe towards that part of your body that you're feeling the suffering. So it becomes very conscious and quite a mindful way. So so you sort of like breathe with intent, and you sort of listen to the body, which I feel is, for those who can't meditate, do you know what? It's the go and do Wim Hof method. Do you know what I mean? Because for
I
a busy
agree.
mind, I just feel that that's a very practical thing to start with, you know, because when I had my burnout 6 years ago, I was told, oh, you should meditate. But for someone who's really angry and agitated, the last thing I wanted to do was watch a fluffy cloud walk by, you know, go by, and then sort of like clear the mind or whatever. Well, that's what I was, the books that I followed anyway. But the breath work was something that I could commit to and kind of feel the benefits from a chemical point of view. You know, you're really like, whoa, this is new sensations, and you're really kind of, well, I was really curious. So, and that enabled me to then go on to meditation. So for that, I feel for some people, it's really good who are all like, the mind is
Yeah.
overworking. I
Very
feel like Wim Hof is
analytical.
actually, yeah, and also, yeah, you're sort of trapped in this sort of cycle, and you're the rabbit, you know, what they call
The
the hamster
hamster.
wheel. Yeah, and sometimes you just need to switch more on to switch off. And Wim describes it as Control Alt Delete. You know that sometimes your computer's going, you just Control Alt Delete it. And the Wim Hof method is a bit like that. So sometimes you need to switch on to switch off. So for that, yeah, it was really nice that Wim's doing the podcast and he's sharing more stories, because it's the stories that people can relate to. There's lots of testimonials, and the science used to be, and I always say this now, science is to raise a question mark for further study.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's conducting a
and he's done
lot of
that.
research.
But it leads on to more. Like the more you learn about the Wim Hof method, you realize that the less you know. And
It's
I
like
quite
unraveling
like
a thread. You keep
yeah,
pulling the thread, and there's more and more and more. It's like, well, where did
yeah,
that come from?
yeah, totally. And like the less you know, and you just got to let go. Like the body's intelligence far exceeds the mind's rationale, and isn't that beautiful? So I think it's beautiful that you leave a little bit up to mystery, you know, as well. And we don't have to know everything. It's just nice to. I don't see the point of knowing anything, because I don't think that's the life. I know some people like to. I must find out, but the beauty is the unfolding, and the unfolding is the mystery sometimes. And Wim Hof method has raised enough questions for further study. And until then, just believe in the body. You know, trust the body more. Yeah.
It's a journey, and I found, like, you know, this method, the breathing part of it has really like made more space in my body as well, like, because the breath can, like, you know, reach more spaces, and it's like that body mind soul connection, and you don't have
Love it.
time to be thinking about the grocery list and, you
Absolutely.
know, this conversation and that conversation or
Yeah.
whatever, what's happening tomorrow. You don't have time for that. You're like in
It will
the
still be there
moment.
when you finish. Do you know what I mean? So just leave it at the door. You know, it might have a different perspective though when you go back to it. But those worries will always be there. But you are right. Both the breath work and the cold exposure will help strengthen other areas or other neurological pathways, as Wim say, in the brain, to make it more balanced. Because at the moment we're so in our neocortex, we're so, you know, and we're strengthening the wrong. The intelligence brain is the smallest brain. You know, you've got the reptilian and the mammalian, but also you've got your heart and you've got your gut, and by putting the balance back into your body, you really start to make decisions from the heart. You know, like, and sort of trusting your gut a bit more. But the heart's the most important. It's not just Wim Hof that says that. There's other great followers and out there that have discovered that there's more energy coming from the heart center, and there's more neurological pathways going from the heart out. So and the Wim Hof kind of accesses those areas, and you start making decisions from what feels right. So that's the journey that you were saying. You start sort of living more aligned to your true self, with no judgment, and no right or wrong. So
I love that. I agree. So let's
yeah.
catch up with some questions here.
Yes.
So Optimus97 says, is it good to take a pause in the middle of 2 rounds, or you have to keep on breathing right away without stopping?
It's good so after each round, it's good to start immediately to the next round. The reason why is because it's incremental. So the first round, and then the second round you go deeper, the third round you go deeper. That's generally how it works. So I feel it's good to start the new round straight away, because of the incremental steps that are happening in your body. However, there is no right or wrong. So if you feel that pause, and often that pause, after the recovery breath, you kind of like, and you feel the blood flow and you know, the heart and stuff like that. And actually it's quite nice to take a pause there. So I do understand why that question was asked. And every now and again I take that pause, and then I feel, right, okay, start up again. But remembering that when you take the pause, you kind of start up from a little bit lower and then go up again. So
Yeah.
either or. I think in the Red Bound study in 2016, it was immediately after, but it doesn't mean that you need to do that every day. So take the pause if you want the pause. You know, that's what I say. Yeah, it's all about the ebb
Awesome.
and flow. Yeah, good
Thank you for
question.
that answer, and thank you for that question. And we have another question from Agnes9884. I watch all your videos and it has changed
Oh,
my whole attitude to life. I am calm, focused, and cannot live without doing breath work and swimming. Thank you, Emma.
wow.
My next mission is to do a workshop.
Oh, that's so lovely. I mean, I feel I just throw it out there to cyberspace, and then, but I don't really worry about what comes back, because it's made from the pure, like, I genuinely mean and how I come across is how I am. So, but I do kind of worry, am I saying the right things? Am I doing the right things? But in nature, there is, like, I can't make it perfect. You know what I mean? So you just see me first go, that's it, in, out, and that's it. Like, so I'm glad you see the raw or the essence. There's no double takes. It's just too freaking cold. So so what you
I
see is what
love
you get.
it. No,
Yeah.
you're
So
really good with that camera. I have to say, I'm like,
I'm getting a
man,
bit,
look at the
yeah,
yeah.
getting the skills up for an old dog. I've got new tricks of having to work with different cameras and stuff like that. And also I get help
No,
every now and again. So I don't do some of my trips are not solo. I do have I do have support every now and again. But I think people get annoyed when I go, do you want to come for a swim? And they're like, oh God, I've got to film for her. So I kind of just do it on my own as well. So
yeah, I love it. Awesome. Now we have another comment, I believe, or question. Says 29. I'm running my first marathon in October, and I've been
awesome.
practicing the Wim Hof method for over a year now. But
Wow.
I've not really tapped into using it on my runs, especially my long runs. Please, can you give me some advice?
Yeah, so obviously you don't do the Wim Hof method when you're running. I wouldn't advise that at all. But what I would advise is to close your mouth, to train in your training, close your mouth and just breathe in and out through your nose and just run as fast as you can. And that will help with your oxygen efficiency. So as you're using up all the oxygen in your lungs there, and it will also help you keep in your um, aerobic respiration, which will help with less muscle fatigue. And you just do all that in your training. You might feel a bit of 10 steps backwards, but just trust the body. It will strengthen up in time. And so yeah, I would advise keep doing the Wim Hof as a separate, but whilst you're training, just train with your mouth closed for sure. Yeah,
Awesome. Thank you for that question.
yeah, that's a good
We
question.
have Passion Cinema Esteri TV giving us a hi, everybody.
Hi there, I like that. It's good.
Awesome. So please keep your questions and comments
Yeah.
coming down below for Emma. We have a few more questions here in our conversation as well. So Emma, that brings us to your teaching. Can you tell people a little bit more about, the workshop that was, just mentioned by one of your viewers here, and you got many thanks here from Says 29. Awesome.
Hope that made
So that
sense.
that
I don't.
person is happy with the with the answer. Awesome. So tell us, please, a bit more about your offerings, your services, your current ones, and your future projects and
Yeah,
offerings and
sure.
services.
I too am in a bit of a transition at the moment. So I like running. Well, I always used to run workshops, but just this year has been so strange with booking venues. So the practicality of my work is like booking venues is a hard one. But I'm getting there. I'm also a one man band, so that takes a bit of time for me to get the message out there. But I love running breath work, but live ones, in actual face to face. That's sort of the thing I like doing. So I'm going to try and sort of do as much as that. But I run retreats, so 2 days and 5 days. That's coming up, and I really enjoy that because of all my experience, I've been traveling with Wim for 2 years. Well, not for 2 years, twice a year for 4 years or so, and so I've just gained all my knowledge from what I've learned there, and I just throw it all into my workshops and my retreats. So no two retreats are the same, just because the dynamics is different, and I've also changed and evolved. And the weather, there's nothing I can control, but I can, which is good because it keeps me on my toes, and it just means it's bespoke to the group dynamics. So for that, yes, I offer 2 days, 5 days, and a day workshop. I travel around the UK for this if it feels right for both. But there's also other instructors that I can point you to as well. So what else do I? Just trying to think what else. I think for anyone coming in, I kind of keep it to. I sort of don't promise anything in the sense that it's better to not expect anything and just be open-minded, to just go with the flow. So for that, I might really annoy the analytical or the people who want the program. That's not my way, and it's not how I am. But I mirror life, because I don't think life's like that either. So there's a lot. So I might seem disorganized or anything like that, but it's all planned, and the places that I go, for me, I visit regularly. There's nothing that I wouldn't. Are you going darker, or am I going dark? I don't know.
Maybe
That's it.
your
I'll come back.
battery. Yeah, you
Oh
have
no,
to
it's fine.
tap
I'm
the
like
screen and it
brightest.
comes
Yeah.
back. Yeah, but I can still see. No, that happens to
Okay.
me when I'm on battery save mode, and then
Yeah.
it dims out, and then you have to tap the screen for it to come back.
That's so I don't do many lives, so you can see that. But
Okay.
what was I got distracted. Yeah, so it was yeah. So I just offer. I kind of just mirror what I learned from Wim. So I think that's with
Yeah.
all my workshops and retreats and everything like that. And I'm totally everything I do, I've done. Like everything I sort of do on my retreats is nothing that I haven't done before. So I don't put the participants through or anything that I haven't done. So, and for that reason, I think it's even more exciting and stuff like that. Because if you've seen my YouTube, my Instagram, things like that, I do quite a lot. I'm quite, you know, I love nature and I love going and exploring. So I definitely, if you're wanting to push your boundaries in a safe way, and then yeah, come along to my workshops for sure.
Awesome. We have Daniel Skoblar saying, "Nice to see your evolution,
Oh,
Emma." With a heart and a thank
thank you, Dan.
you. There
That's
you
cool.
go.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we have let's see, two or three more questions. Please keep your questions and comments coming down below for Emma. She'll be happy to answer.
Yeah.
And while we wait, do you have any, I guess, future projects coming up that you want to mention at this time? You want to share with anyone?
Yeah, I've got. I'm going to be going to Europe next year, definitely to hold some retreats, which I'm really, really excited about. I feel I'm getting darker, so you just have to bear with me. I have no idea.
No
No
worries.
idea.
Just put your finger on the screen and it should. Oops, you're back. You're back.
I'm back. Okay, that's cool. Maybe it's just
Yes.
the room is getting darker then. But no, I'm planning to do more collaborations. So please get in touch if that's the case. But I've also there I am. I feel I'm brighter now. But yeah, I've got things in the pipeline, so it's just a matter of just churning them out, the dates, and just finalizing a few things. But I'm really loving the human connection. I'm really loving the retreat. So I think that's the way I would like to go a lot more. So I guess just be patient and just see what comes along. But yeah,
But I love that you like go with the flow. You know, you go with the flow with your events. You go with the flow in life. I mean, that's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, and I never
Now,
used to be like that either. Yeah. So, but it's quite liberating, and there's something quite freeing about that. So yeah, and as I said, it might annoy some people, but this is just my way for now. And you know, the pendulum is going this way, and it might come back. It might come back the other way, a little bit more organization. But there is method to my madness for sure. Yeah, and everything that I do. So I'm
awesome.
going
We
to just
have
turn the light on and just see whether this works. Hang on.
no worries. Sure, sure.
That might be
Yep.
a little
I
better.
see
Yes,
you. Yep. Yep.
yes. I feel like I was.
So we have a comment from Passion Cinema Series TV. We follow you on social media and YouTube. You're fantastic.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you for the support. As I said, it really means a lot to know that I'm not just waffling into and I'm boring everyone with the same thing, because I'm still that lady that goes into waterfalls, and probably all my YouTube stuff is the same thing. So I'm really liking that you're enjoying my little antics as I go out and explore. So, and that's cool. If I can inspire anyone to just go for a walk, then that's awesome. So yeah, thank you for that. That's cool.
I agree with you. That's awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you. And so tell everybody, please, what are the best ways for people to contact you for information, collaboration, questions, comments, etc.?
I think just go trying to funnel it now, just to go through my email. So I mean, you can contact me on here as well, but sometimes if I'm in and out of signal, then I'm just forget, you know. And but the email, I'll always go back and check. So yeah, so just on my website, it's emma@emmaestrella.com, and that's probably the best way. But anything for more, I don't, but you can contact me anyway. Instagram is also, is great. People have contacted me via my website, like Facebook, even LinkedIn. So, but there's a lot of incomings. So just if I don't answer straight away, then just bear with. But website would be definitely the better one for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
so, first of all, before I ask you my final question for
Oh yes.
today, we have Divya M Yoga.
Yes.
Looking forward to
Yeah.
having you soon with us. So
I
excited with
Absolutely.
the
So I'm going to
two.
Romania for the first time. So if any of you guys are in Romania, I'm gonna be going there. I think in about a couple of weeks' time. So really excited for that. It's something that we've been planning for a while, and it's obviously just with everything the way the world is going. I'm going to be going to Europe next week. So divine timing. When we were chatting about it, it was like, yeah, I'm going to be in Europe, so I can go to Romania, and I've got another one planned as well. So. But yeah,
Awesome.
I generally don't. It's all on my website, but I generally don't say anything until I'm there, just because you just don't know as well. So
No, I hear you. We have Gareth Wood CPD. I met Emma a couple of years ago at one of her retreats in Essex. It was absolutely fantastic.
oh,
I was absolutely buzzing afterwards. Emma, what are your thoughts and how do you cope with all of the madness in the world at the moment?
ground as we opened up earlier. I just ground in. So breath work, switch off the media, the mainstream media anyway. And actually, I have really good friends, and that really matters for me because I've explored other things of like who I am and stuff like that. So if any of you heard of the human design in that, I'm not sure if you have, you can go Google it, but you kind of split into three kind of no, 4 or 5 categories, and one of them is I'm a projector and I'm a self-projecting projector, so I have to hear my own voice to know it to be true. So I talk to myself a lot, or I talk to people who are just willing to listen, and I kind of like kind of like come to some conclusions. So all my succulent plants in my van, I talk to Ascot a lot as well. So that's how I ground. I know that sounds like maybe completely bonkers now, but yeah, good friends, breath work, swimming, walking in nature, and not really, and really saying the words, it has to be this way. In order for us to change, it has to be this way. So I'm not giving up and I'm not letting go, and I'm still a warrior and fighting, behind the scenes, but there's some power in that. It has to be this way because bearing in mind, I didn't take the path that I'm on now without 3 major hits in my life, if you like. So one of them was redundancy, the other one was splitting up with my boyfriend, the other one was having a massive row with my mum. So I wouldn't wish that upon anyone, but sometimes you need to go through adversity to change your way. So for that reason, it has to be this way in that sense. So just taking comfort in that. But yeah, I hope
Yeah.
I've answered that question.
I
Yeah,
think you did. So,
yeah.
so we have another question here from Agnes 9884. Hey Emma, do I need to be really fit to attend a workshop?
No is the answer to that. Yeah, all walks of life, health, abilities or whatever. No, that with the Wim Hof, there's no. Wim helps people who are autoimmune or anything like that. So no, no, not at all. And I will adapt the workshop for anyone. It was a beautiful thing I learned in Poland is like there's no ego. So you kind of go as fast as the slowest person, and I really really like that. And there's been all ages that we see, and it's about empowerment and connection. It's not about racing to the top. There's enough of that in the world. So it's about your inner mountain, whatever that means to you.
Oh,
So yeah, so absolutely, I welcome anyone. So come along,
I
and yeah,
love
we'll have some fun.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. We have another comment from Passion Cinema Series TV. I love swimming. I think this is one of the best trainings in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Especially in nature or anywhere that's safe. I'm a bit of a lone wolf, so I can understand the swim societies don't really want to touch me much because, you know, I go and seek out places and I do it on my own, and it's like red light to a lot of people. But saying that, it is really good just to go into cold water. I was told something along the lines of 2 minutes in ice water or cold water is equivalent to a 40-minute run. So it's really, really good for your cardiovascular system.
Amazing.
Yeah, and swimming itself helps breath work and yeah, and just being that connection and getting out of your you know near cortex and getting into your body, and any kind of embodiment practice is awesome. So, and I'm really loving that wild swimming has really taken off, or cold water swimming has really taken off, because it does deserve the reputation that it's got. You know, you get a natural high, you know, like a post swim high, or you know, anything like that, and it just has so many benefits that it's just really, really good to do. So I'm glad you're enjoying the swimming as well, and everyone out there who's taking the plunge. It's awesome. Yeah, and you meet good people along the way. I rarely see a stressed out cold water swimmer. If not, they're not doing it right. Do you know what I mean? You know, the idea is you know, share the love. So yeah, all good.
Awesome. We have a hi, Emma, from CJLG293, and a thank you from Agnes 9884.
I hope to see you soon,
And
Agnes. Yeah, in one of my I should think
and
was
we
mentioned it.
awesome. And we have a question that was in the question box.
Mm.
Excuse me. From CJLG293. How many lakes or swim areas have you been to?
I don't know. That's a really good question, because I just go with the flow. I never know where I'm going to go until I feel like it, or just the timings, or the weather, or the position I'm in the Lake District. So I can't answer that question, because I generally don't know. I'm not in the mind where I tick them off or clock them off. It's not my way. So, but there's plenty to choose from around here. If once you've got the eye, there's loads. And I haven't been to them all yet, is all I can say. But they're interesting, because there's some I go to and some I don't go in. It's not that I sort of like tune into nature. If it's not really inviting them, then I won't go in. I'm happy to walk away and find another one. So yeah, for that reason, I don't think I've explored all the area that I live in just yet. So.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you so much, Emma, for taking the time. Also, to everybody who joined either live or on the replay. And with that, I'm just going to ask you, Emma, my final
Yeah.
question, which is there anything else you want to share with us before we wrap this all up? We're just going to have you wrap this all up and put a bow on it for us, please.
Oh, well, I don't know, actually. How would I like to? I think if you're curious, or you're on your journey of self-development, or anything like that, it will always come back to the breath. So, or whatever you're doing, it will come back to the breath. So ask yourself, how am I breathing? Or just explore the exciting world of breath work in some way. And for me, the cold was a compliment. But so yeah, so how I would end is, if you're here listening, just try out breath work for sure. And as Wim would say, you know, happy, healthy, strong, and that's all you really need to be in every moment that you live. And I think with the spinning world that it's going on, I'll tell you loads now. Life is precious, you know. So just be grateful for every moment that you have, and I think the method will help enhance that enrichment in a different way for you. So yeah, give it a go.
I agree. Oh, that was
Cool.
beautiful. That was perfect. Thank you so much. And, you know, I want to give a shout out to Wim Hof, wherever he is, and thank him for creating this method. And thank you, Emma, for, you know, going through
Absolutely.
all of the, you know, training and education and sharing it with the world. And, you know, I just think it's
Oh,
awesome. Yeah. So
that's
I am
cool. I mean,
going
yeah,
to,
yeah.
sorry?
For me, I say thank you. For me, it's a spiritual journey, and I didn't really know that before. So it's really opened me up to it. I connected with spirituality first, before anything else, and I am so grateful for that. It's yeah. So I can't thank Wim enough, for that centeredness that it's given me. So yeah, thank you.
I agree. Yeah, I'm still, trying to get through all of the videos and the podcasts. But yeah, it's, he really has, um a key that a lot
Mm,
of us need to unlock some of the
beautifully put.
challenges that we're facing. I really think that this method holds the solution to so many issues. That's my
Yeah,
opinion of the whole.
I love it. That's beautifully put. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. So Emma, I am going to save this to IGTV, my feed and stories, and then I'm going to message you after.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it. You've been
Thank
awesome.
you.
Loving
Thank
the
you,
difference.
Emma.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emma. And thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.